Hello, friends. Today we are going to discuss on one of the important topic, and we thought that this time we are going to change the whole format. Probably first we will tell you about the topic of discussions, and then we will take you through the videos. Trust me, this video is dedicated to all the banking sales officers and the customers who are going to apply for credit facilities from different banks. Information is very much needed, and it has been done through uh, research, and this is here to help you guys to understand on the basics. We will always try to simplify everything that is possible. We will tell you both the bookish definition, and as well as we will explain it to you in a layman's language so that it helps. If you really like the video, I would request you to subscribe the channel, like it, and share it as much as possible, so that a lot of our sales officers who are out there who are trying to do a banking sale, they should also benefit from them. And it should help the customers also, because customers will get to know about what are the documents which is required, and how do they work or get those documents, or what is the significance of that documents, why is it that bank is asking such documents, or any concerned department or any concerned organization is asking for that document. So today we are going to start with the topic of our discussions. As you can see on the board itself, the first topic of discussion will be what is salary certificate. It's really very important for us to know what salary certificate is. Second topic of discussion will be what is salary transfer letter. And third will be what are the clauses of salary transfer letter. How is it that salary transfer letter becomes different from salary certificate? And it's because of the clauses. So we'll get to know about that also. What is payslip? Payslip is also an important part, and we will try to understand on what payslip is. Uh, then the next topic of discussion will be what is the purpose of salary certificate? Why do we need salary certificate? And we will try to understand that also. Then the next is where can one get a salary certificate? Of course, there are different organizations and they will be having different departments. So we need to understand on where we can get the salary certificate from in that particular organization. Why do bank need salary transfer letter? What is the reason why bank needs salary transfer letter if they can work with pay slips or salary certificates, but still the bank emphasize on salary transfer letter, and we will try to learn that also right now. And what is the difference between salary certificate, pay slips, and salary transfer letter? That is also something which we will understand, and we'll try to put it in simplified ways so that it becomes easier for you and me. I'm requesting once again that if you like the video, please do share and subscribe, and you know ensure that it reaches to the maximum audience so that a lot of people can benefit, whether it's a banking sales officers or anyone who intends to join a banking industry, or the clients or customers of yours. Okay, so what is salary certificate? Let's understand the definition as per the books, intellectual definition, which says that a salary certificate is an essential document which that verifies an individual's income and employment details, and it serves as a proof of income and is required in several situations such as applying for loans, credit cards, visas, telecom services, and other legal documents. So salary certificate is, of course, it's an important document. It's a kind of certificate which gives the details of an individual or an employee to the organizations who have requested for a salary certificate. There are a lot of companies who issue salary certificate mentioning the subject as to whomsoever it may concern. They have a generic format, and that's perfectly fine because it can be accepted by any organization who has requested for that. Whereas there are few organizations who specifically mentions the in the subject whether it's required for the bank. If it's required for the bank, they'll mention it as to the concerned bank, and if it is required by telecom companies, then they will mention the name of the telecom companies. If it's required by government bodies, then they'll mention that name, and so on and so forth. Salary certificate format. So it's very important for us to understand the salary certificate format, and this is how the formats of salary certificate should be. But there is no hard and fast rule on salary certificate format. It may change uh, based on company and its requirements and its significance. Okay. First is employee's name and designation. It is an important information that has to be mentioned on the salary certificate. And then you have date of joining. A person may be in the country or he may be working in different organization, but his effective length of organization for that particular organization has to be mentioned, and that can be uh, evident only through the date of joining which is mentioned. Date of issuing the salary certificate, yes, generally you will see on salary certificate on the right hand side top corner they mention the date, and that becomes the date of issuing the salary certificate. Then you have the basic salary. Few organization they just put the salaries and the salary certificate is done, but few organizations they believe in giving the details about the salaries, like what the basic salaries are, what are the allowances that a customer is getting, for example HRA, which is house rent allowance, transport allowance, or medical allowance, or any other allowances if they are getting as such. So they do mention the allowances. Then they mention the total salary. As I told you, like few companies they just mention the total salaries and issue it, whereas few companies they mention the salaries in details. Then there are deductions. So we there are deductions if there is any tax deduction. So they mention the tax deduction, but in countries where there is no income tax, there they don't mention as tax deduction, but they do mention as loss of pay. Let's say if a person is on an unpaid leave, then they do mention the deduction on that. And the uh, salaries, when you talk about, then from there they mention the net salary of the customer, and then they proceed with that. What is salary transfer letter? Salary transfer letter, let's go through the definition as per books. That is, salary transfer letter is nothing but it's a commitment or a promise on the part of an employer to your bank where you are banking with, and that the salary of the employee would be credited to the bank until the loan is completely repaid, or it's completed. And the letter will also contain some terms and conditions agreed between employer and the bank. But to understand what happens is, it's nothing but a commitment, it's a promise. An employer is giving a promise on behalf of you to the bank, saying that the salary of this person is going to get credited to the bank till the time he has the credit facility. And it can be like if person has taken a personal loan, so the duration of the personal loan can be 4 years, or it can be up to 4 years, and till the time the loan is not completed, the salary will not be transferred to any other bank. In case, like a person has requested for a buyout because he wants to move from one bank to another, it can there can be any reason. Probably he's not happy with the service, or he's getting a better rate of interest in other bank, or thirdly it can be that he is getting what do you call it, he has a requirement of some funds, and he has already paid an installment for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and he needs to move out to the other bank, and instead of taking a top up he prefers going ahead with the other bank. So in such scenario, a salary transfer letter is needed, and a person has to provide the NOC from his current bank, and then only he can move to the other bank. Otherwise employer is not going to transfer the salary on any other ground. If an employer does that, and that becomes a repetitive habit of the employer, then the bank has all the rights to put the company on hold because of uh, not fulfilling the commitment. Now, what are the clauses of the salary transfer letter? So, first we need to understand is that salary transfer letter is always in two different parts. Like there are two types of salary transfer letter. One salary transfer letter is without clauses. So there are a lot of government organizations or large corporates or any company who already had a prior agreement or a discussion with the bank, and they said that they are not going to provide the salary transfer letter with clause. So such companies salary transfer letter without clauses can be accepted, whereas generally bank prefers salary transfer letter with clauses, and the clause that is there is generally three. People break that three clauses into four parts also, that's perfectly fine because there is no hard and fast rule as such. But if you will see the clauses that is mentioned on salary transfer letter is, number one, that the salary of the person, whatever that salary is, salary of that person will be credited to the bank. Number two is, in case of resignation or termination, the salary The in case of resignation or termination, the company will notify the bank that he is no more associated with the organization, and at the same time, the company will credit the end of service benefit to the bank itself. Third, let's say in the midway of his credit facility or personal loan, the customer wants to move from one bank to another. In that situation, a company will always request the applicant to get the NOC from his current bank, and based on that NOC itself, he can transfer the salary to the other bank. NOC is like a no objection certificate. It can also be a no liability certificate, that the person does not have any liability, any current liability uh, with the bank. Okay. What is salary or payslip in UAE? So generally, what happens is, here it contains the financial details, but for us, let's understand it that payslip always has a details about the salary of a customer which has been credited on that particular month. Let's say when we are there, for example, I'm just taking an example that let's say if we are there in the month of November, and we need to understand on what was the salary that was credited in the month of January, and what are the deductions or what are the additions that has happened to my salary. I can refer to the pay slip of that particular month, and I will get to know on what are the deductions that has taken place or what are the other allowances that has been credited at that particular month. So it is the detailed description. Let's say at times company gives bonuses. It can be quarterly, it can be semi-annually, it can be annually. So we'll get to know about the bonus which has been credited on that particular month. Number two, when we talk about let's say company provides incentives, company provides commissions, overtime. So all those details will come for that particular month, and through payslip we get to understand or we get to know on what is the expense of what is the net salary and that a person has received, and what are the additions and deductions that has happened on the salary. What is the purpose of salary certificate? The purpose of salary certificate is that let's say if a person is applying for a personal loan, he's applying for a credit card, or he's applying for visa, or he might need it by some other government bodies, or if he's applying for a post-paid connection in telecommunication, then in that scenario a salary certificate is needed. Pay slips can be used in place of salary certificate because that also talks about the salaries of a customer. Even when a person wants to rent out a flat, he wants to take it for a rent, then rent in a flat, then for that also he needs the salary certificate, or he may need the pay slip also. So the purpose of salary certificate is very clear, that it is needed by different organizations or uh, different bodies to understand the salary of the applicant, and they can provide the products or services based on the salary certificate. Where can one get a salary certificate from? Where he can get a salary certificate? So he can get the salary certificate from his organizations. In his organization, in different organizations, there are different departments who issue salary certificate. In few organizations, it can be the payroll department who are doing it. In few, it will be the HR department. In few organizations, it can be admin, and in few organizations, it can be the finance department who is issuing it. So anyone who is not aware of that, they can reach out to their line managers or any senior staff, or they can take guidance from any department, and they will help them on the correct department in that particular organization who is issuing the salary certificate. Right now, if you'll see a lot of organizations, they have introduced an HRM. Like not right now, it has been there into the practice since very long. And through HRM, which is Human Resource Management System, they can apply for their salary certificates, or they can download their pay slips, or they can request for their salary transfer letter. Why do bank need salary transfer letter? As I have told you earlier, that salary transfer letter is nothing but a commitment, a promise through which and based on which the bank gives a credit facility to the customer. So generally, if you see that people are applying for salary transfer loan, salary transfer becomes security for the loan that has been provided, and till the time salary is being credited to the bank or to the account, it gives a sense of comfort to the banks that the EMI will be getting debited every month, and the person has all the intentions to pay back the loan to the bank. So salary transfer letter is actually nothing but it is giving a ease of comfort to the banks, and it's a commitment and a promise. What is the difference between salary certificate, pay slips, and STL? There is a big difference between salary certificate, pay slip, and salary transfer letter. If you talk about salary certificate, let's say if a person's designation or salary has not changed over the period of time, then the same salary certificate can be issued over and over again, like whether it's 6 months gap or 1 year gap or 2 year gap. If there is no changes in his designation that has happened, then it will continue the way it is. Whereas if you see the pay slip always speaks about uh, the particular month when the customer has got the salary, and it talks about the allowances, the additions, and the deductions as well. Whereas salary transfer letter is nothing but it's a commitment, and a company cannot issue a salary transfer letter left, right, and center. It needs to have the NOC from the current bank before it changes or it transfers the salary to another bank. So it's a commitment, and it has to be fulfilled. So, and it's a promise. So salary certificate can be issued at a regular interval. Pay slips are anyhow being issued at a regular interval, which is every month on a monthly basis. And salary transfer letter is a promise, and it can be issued only when a person intends to transfer salary to some other bank, provided he obtains the NOC from the current bank. Uh, Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Uh, Please do share, subscribe, and like it. And the more you share, the more motivation it gives to me, because the only intention of doing such video is that our friends who are working in sales of banking industry, it should be a help for them. Even the people who wants to join the banking industry in sales or in any other department, this can be of great help to them. At the same time, it will help the applicants or people who wants to avail the credit facility in terms of personal loan or credit card or mortgage loan or auto loan or any other credit facility. It will give them clarity or a sense of understanding. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Thanks a lot.